When was the last time you asked yourself, how am I really doing? Sometimes we'll text a friend, or maybe even talk to our life group leader, and sometimes our parents will ask us when we get home from school, how are you? But no matter what's actually going on, we always tend to say the same things. Good, I'm fine, I'm doing all right. But ask yourself, how are you really doing? And if you're not perfectly okay, you're just like the rest of us. God's chosen people, the Israelites, didn't have a life that was all rainbows and sunshine either. In fact, they were enslaved for 400 years. Many times we think that if we just follow God, everything will be perfect, but that's just not the case. God wanted to free his people from slavery through Moses. God started telling Moses that he would free the Israelites from Pharaoh, the ruler of the Egyptians, and the one who kept the Israelites enslaved. Let's look at the conversation between God and Moses. God says in Genesis 6:6-7, "Therefore say to the people of Israel, I am the Lord, I will free you from your oppression and will rescue you from your slavery in Egypt. I will redeem you with a powerful arm and great acts of judgment. I will claim you as my own people, and I will be your God. Then you will know that I am the Lord your God, who has freed you from your oppression in Egypt. I will bring you into the land I swore to give to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I will give it to you as your very own possession. I am the Lord." In this passage, God wanted to remind Moses and his people who he was. And he is Lord. Even though their circumstances changed, God is still Lord, and in his goodness, he is not forgotten. Before he says what he will do for his people, he just wants to remind them who he is and what he's done. Maybe you need that reminder today. Even though your circumstances don't feel good, God is Lord and he hasn't forgotten you. Let's keep reading. So Moses told the people of Israel what the Lord had said, but they refused to listen anymore. They had become too discouraged by the brutality of their slavery. Have you ever felt that before? Like you're so discouraged that you just can't keep going? Like God isn't even there? Here's when Pharaoh comes in. When we look at Pharaoh, we see the bad guy, the villain, the one who messes everything up. However, though his role may seem small and insignificant, I would argue that he is actually a main piece to the story. Pharaoh didn't want the slaves to be released, so God sent 10 plagues in order to change his mind. Every time God sent one of the plagues, he started with, "Let my people go so they can worship me. If you refuse to let them go, I will," and then he would state one of the plagues. Some of the plagues weren't the best to experience, including frogs, rivers of blood, locusts, and festering boils. Yet each and every time God threatened one of the plagues upon Egypt, Pharaoh still refused to let his people go. Imagine you're an Israelite. These plagues are happening, and it feels like there's so much chaos going on around you, and yet you're still enslaved. Maybe that's not too far off from what you actually feel right now. Maybe you feel like there's chaos happening around you, and there are some situations in your life that leave you wondering where God is in all of it. Here's what the Lord says in Exodus 7:3. "But I will make Pharaoh's heart stubborn, so I can multiply my miraculous signs and wonders in the land of Egypt." While there was chaos, God still had a plan. Even though it wasn't the plan the Israelites originally had in mind, it eventually led to their freedom. In order for these things to happen, Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and as weird as it is to say, Pharaoh was one of the main parts of the story. Here's the big takeaway. I think one of the reasons this happened was because God wanted to make it clear that he is Lord and we're not. God is ultimately in control and we are not, and that's actually a good thing. When it feels like things aren't going our way, maybe it's because God has a miracle in mind for later. Maybe it's not God punishing us, but instead, maybe he's trying to get us to look to him, to obey him, and to remember his promises. So what is it for you? If you were to look at your life today, where do you need the reminder that God is Lord and you're not? What circumstances are tough? I know I can personally think of a few. But if we look a little harder, maybe God's just trying to get our attention. Finally, what situations in your life do you need freedom for? Maybe all you need to do is remember that God is Lord and you're not, and wherever you find yourself today, whether you're doing great or whether you're not, God has a plan. Don't give up looking for his goodness because you're discouraged. He's good, he loves you, and he is Lord. Hopefully that was encouraging for you. We'll see you next week for the next message with supporting Cass.
Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out our YouTube channel. You're still here, so why not check out the other awesome videos that we have? Drop a like and click the red button to enjoy fresh, new content from Northview Students every single week. You guys will be challenged, encouraged, and inspired. So what are you waiting for? You guys are awesome.